Welcome back to the Quarterly Call. All content is for informational purposes and is not investment advice. Please consult with an investment professional.
Okay, sounds good.
Today,
Yeah.
we're going to be looking at Intuitive Surgical,
Cool.
the company behind the Da Vinci surgical system.
Oh, yeah, the robots.
Yeah, exactly, the robot.
Helping surgeons do all those minimally invasive procedures?
So they just had their presentation at the JPM Healthcare Conference.
Right.
And,
Exciting.
yeah.
What did they have to say?
They're talking about like 2024 performance and 2025 plans.
Okay, so kind of a look back and a look ahead.
Exactly.
Got it. Yeah.
So I thought it'd be interesting to kind of dive into that.
Sure.
And see what we can find.
Yeah, they're a fascinating company. I mean, it's not just about the robots themselves. It's really about how they're changing the whole approach to surgery.
Yeah.
Making it, more precise,
Mhm.
less invasive, really focusing on the patient experience.
Yeah, and it's not just talk, right?
Right.
They have some pretty impressive numbers to back it up.
Yeah, let's hear about those numbers.
So in 2024, they had almost 2.7 million Da Vinci procedures
Wow.
globally.
That's a lot of procedures.
That's not even counting the nearly 100,000 lung biopsies.
Oh, right. With their ion system.
Yeah, with the ion system.
Yeah.
And they placed almost 1,800 new systems.
So they're really expanding their reach,
Yeah.
getting those robots into more hospitals.
Mm-hmm. And that means like
Yeah.
almost 17 million procedures
Wow.
have been performed with Da Vinci systems.
That's incredible. It's really becoming
I know, and
more and
more.
more mainstream, isn't it?
It's crazy
Mhm.
to think about. But they did this despite some
yeah.
challenges.
What kind of challenge?
Economic uncertainty in China.
Right, of course.
A really tight capital environment in Europe.
Mm-hmm.
And even like the impact of new weight loss medications.
Oh, interesting. Like affecting bariatric surgery, you mean?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
So it's pretty remarkable that they still managed to achieve
Okay.
17% revenue growth.
17%. That's impressive. Especially with those headwinds. But how are they managing to do that? What's the secret sauce?
Well, one thing that really stood out to me
Okay.
is that
Yeah.
84% of their revenue is recurring.
Recurring revenue. That's huge. So that's things like, what, instruments and services? So
Exactly.
it's not just a one-time sale. It's that ongoing relationship
Mm-hmm.
with the hospitals. That's a really smart business model.
Yeah, they're not just selling the robots.
Yeah.
They're creating like a whole ecosystem.
The whole package. Support, maintenance, you name it. Very clever. But they're not just relying on their existing markets, are they?
No. They're definitely branching out.
Oh, tell me more about that.
So, urology has always been like
Right.
their main thing.
Right, kind of their bread and butter, right?
Mhm. But they're seeing more adoption
Okay.
outside the U.S. and in other specialties.
So they're going beyond urology and beyond the U.S. That's a pretty ambitious growth strategy.
Yeah.
What are some of the other areas they're moving into?
So
Yeah.
like general surgery
Okay.
is one.
Makes sense. Lots of potential applications there.
Mm-hmm.
So they're really trying to bring the benefits of minimally invasive surgery to a wider audience.
Exactly.
Okay, that's exciting. Now, I can't talk about Intuitive Surgical without mentioning the big news from 2024, the launch of the Da Vinci 5.
Oh, yeah, the Da Vinci 5. I was reading
Mhm.
about that.
Yeah, they're still in that limited launch phase, right?
They are, but they've already placed
Huh.
like 362 systems.
Wow. And they've trained over 2,500 surgeons on it already.
Yeah, and there have been over 32,000 procedures.
Wow. That's a lot of activity for a system that's just getting started. Clearly, there's a lot of excitement and demand for this new platform.
Yeah, it's pretty impressive. And I think part of the excitement is that it really builds on the success of their previous systems.
Right. So it's not just a completely new thing, it's an evolution.
Yeah, and they've really taken into account
Okay.
surgeon needs and preferences.
Yeah, they've always been good about listening to feedback from surgeons.
Mm-hmm. They've really focused on making it easier to use
Okay.
and even better for teaching and training.
Makes sense. The easier it is to use and learn, the more surgeons will adopt it.
Yeah. But one thing that really blew my mind
Yeah. What's that?
was the computing power of the Da Vinci 5.
Oh, yeah, I read about that too.
It's like 10,000
It's ridiculous, right?
times more powerful than...
It's like, what are they doing with all that power?
Yeah, I don't even know.
It's mind-boggling. What does that even mean for surgery?
I know. It's crazy.
It's like they're taking surgery into the realm of, like, data science.
Yeah.
With all that computing power, they can collect and analyze so much data from every procedure. They can study techniques, outcomes, how surgeons learn. It's like they're building a giant database of surgical knowledge.
Yeah. So it's not just about the robot itself.
Right.
It's about what the robot can learn
Right.
and how that knowledge can be used to improve future surgeries.
That's fascinating. It's like the robot is becoming a learning machine, constantly getting better and smarter with every surgery. Pretty amazing.
Yeah, it's mind-blowing.
It really makes you think about the future of surgery, doesn't it?
It really does.
Where is this all heading?
Yeah.
What are the possibilities?
Yeah, so many questions.
It's like those self-driving cars.
Oh, yeah.
The more data they gather,
Right.
the better they become
Mm-hmm.
at navigating, responding
Okay.
to different situations.
Yeah.
It's the same with the Da Vinci 5.
Okay, so the robot is learning
It's learning.
and improving with every surgery.
Exactly. It's constantly gathering data, analyzing it,
Wow, that's
and refining its performance.
kind of mind-blowing.
Yeah, it is pretty amazing.
But what about the surgeon?
Right.
Like, where do they fit in all of this?
Right. That's a great question.
Yeah.
The surgeon is still very much in control,
Okay.
but now they have this, like, co-pilot
Mm-hmm.
that can assist them with incredible precision and insights.
Okay.
The Da Vinci 5's advanced instruments,
Right.
they're already demonstrating this
Okay.
controlled exchange between surgeon and robot,
Mm-hmm.
kind of a glimpse into the future of surgery.
So it's more of a
Okay.
collaboration than a
I think so.
replacement.
Yeah, it's not about replacing the surgeon.
Okay.
It's about augmenting their skills,
Hmm.
enhancing their capabilities.
Mhm.
It's about, robots potentially performing certain tasks
Right.
with greater accuracy than humans,
Okay.
which ultimately means
Yeah.
more precise and safer surgery.
So, okay.
Yeah.
What about 2025?
Yes, 2025.
What's in store?
Well, they've projected procedure volume growth
Okay.
of 13% to 16%,
Okay.
which is,
Right.
pretty healthy.
Yeah. Especially
Considering,
everything going on in the world.
globally.
Right. You got to
Yeah,
factor in those global economic uncertainties.
Exactly.
But yeah, they're still expecting significant growth.
Mm-hmm.
And they're not shying away from investing either.
Yeah. So they're still planning
Yeah.
to invest in expanding production capacity,
Mm-hmm.
research and development for future innovations,
Of course. Always innovating.
mm-hmm.
That's what they do.
and supporting
Mm-hmm.
the global launch of their platforms.
It's all about that long-term vision.
Right.
They're not just looking at the next quarter or
Mhm.
even the next year.
Mm-hmm.
They're building for a future where,
Yeah.
more innovative surgical techniques become possible.
Mm.
Adoption of their technology becomes even more widespread,
Mm-hmm.
and patient outcomes continue to improve.
And speaking of that, they're planning to fully launch the Da Vinci 5 in the U.S.
Yes.
and other regions this year,
Global rollout.
making it more widely available. Exciting times, making that cutting-edge technology more accessible
Right.
to surgeons and patients around the world. It's
Mhm.
going to be really interesting to see the
Uh-huh.
impact it has on,
Yeah.
different healthcare systems,
Yeah.
different patient populations.
Right. And they're doing it, like, strategically
Oh, yeah.
in phases.
Tell me more about that.
I don't know
Yeah.
all the details,
Okay.
but
Yeah.
it seems very deliberate.
Well, it makes sense to have a phased rollout, right?
Right.
You want to make sure that everything's running smoothly,
Mhm.
the manufacturing, the
Mhm.
supply chains.
Right.
You want to gather feedback
Mhm.
from those early adopters
Yeah.
before making it available to everyone.
Yeah.
It's like a test run
Mhm.
before the big premiere.
Yeah, exactly.
Makes sense.
But what about
Yeah.
their other systems,
Look, good.
the Da Vinci Xi,
Mm-hmm.
the Ion system,
Yep.
the Da Vinci SP?
They've got a whole suite of products.
Are they just going to be
Right. Are they just going to
left behind?
be left behind?
Yeah.
No.
Right.
They're not just going to abandon those platforms.
Okay.
These systems, they're constantly evolving. They're
That-
not static products.
Okay.
They're dynamic systems that are
Mhm.
continuously being refined and improved.
So they're keeping all of their
They're keeping all of their systems
systems.
up to date
That's a big
and relevant,
Okay.
even as they introduce new ones.
Okay, so like the
Yeah.
Da Vinci Xi
Yeah.
has undergone significant enhancements since its launch
Right. Exactly.
back in 2014.
They've made it even more capable and versatile.
Okay, that's
So
fine.
they're not just,
Right.
focusing on the shiny new toy. They're
Uh-huh.
making sure all their platforms are top notch,
Okay.
which is good for hospitals, right?
Yeah.
Gives them more options.
And what about all the
Oh, yeah. What about those
Da Vinci Xis?
new trade-ins?
They're getting back as trade-ins.
Right. what are they doing with all those robots?
Yeah, I was wondering about that.
Well, they're not just going to let them gather dust.
Right.
They're planning to refurbish those Sheila systems and offer them as a more cost-effective option for hospitals.
So they're creating different
Different tiers of technology.
their technology.
The Da Vinci 5 at the top, the refurbished She systems, and then the original She systems. It's like having, different models of a car to cater to different budgets and needs.
Okay.
Makes sense,
Okay.
right?
That's smart.
It's a win-win situation. Hospitals get access to this cutting-edge robotic surgery technology at various price points.
Right.
And Intuitive Surgical expands their reach and impact. They're making a real difference in people's lives.
By making this technology more accessible.
And it's not just about
Right. It's not just about the hardware. They're also placing a major emphasis on what they call digital excellence.
Digital excellence.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they're investing heavily in developing software tools, data analytics capabilities, even machine learning algorithms.
Wow.
To enhance the surgical experience.
Okay.
And improve outcomes.
Okay. So using technology.
Yeah. It's all about leveraging the power of data and computation, not only to, improve the precision and efficiency of procedures, but also to generate insights that can lead to better decision-making and more personalized patient care.
Okay.
So it's really taking things to the next level.
Yeah, they're very focused on gathering clinical and economic evidence.
Right, evidence-based medicine.
To demonstrate the tangible benefits. They want to prove
of their technology.
That their technology actually makes a difference.
They're not just saying, hey, our robots are great.
Right, exactly.
They're proving it.
They're backing up their claims with hard data.
Hard data.
And that's essential for, gaining wider acceptance.
Right.
Encouraging broader adoption of their technology.
Right.
Which ultimately shapes the future of surgery.
So they're really trying to cover...
It sounds like they're trying to
all their bases.
Cover all their bases. Innovation, expansion, evidence.
They're innovating. They're expanding their reach. They're backing it all up with solid evidence.
That's pretty impressive strategy.
Yeah.
It makes you wonder with all this focus on technology and data.
Are they forgetting?
Yeah. Are they forgetting about the human element?
About the human element?
The patients.
The patients.
The surgeons.
The surgeons.
Or the healthcare providers. Well, it turns out they're actually very focused on customer satisfaction.
Okay.
They even work with J.D. Power to track their Net Promoter Score.
Okay. So for those of us who aren't familiar with that.
Right. What is a Net Promoter Score?
What is that?
Well, it's basically a measure of customer loyalty and satisfaction. It's based on a simple question.
Okay.
On a scale of 0 to 10.
Okay.
How likely are you to recommend this company, product, or service to a friend or a colleague?
Okay.
And a score above 0 is considered good.
Okay.
Above 50 is excellent.
Okay.
And above 70 is considered world-class.
World-class.
Yeah.
Okay.
So where does Intuitive Surgical fall?
Right. Where do they fit?
On that scale.
On that scale. Yeah.
Well, they achieved a Net Promoter Score of 75.
Wow.
Which is
okay, so they're world-class.
Especially for a company launching a brand new product like the Da Vinci 5.
Yeah.
So it shows that they're not just delivering innovative technology, they're also providing an exceptional customer experience.
It sounds like they're really trying to build...
Yeah, it sounds like they're really focused on
a relationship.
Building those relationships.
Like their customers.
With their customers and making sure that they're happy.
They're happy, yeah.
Happy customers,
Right.
That's what it's all about.
But with all this talk about...
Yeah, but with all this talk about...
Global expansion. And...
Yeah.
Technological advancement.
Right, all these amazing advancements.
I can't help but wonder.
Yeah, it makes you wonder.
Is Intuitive Surgical on its way to becoming...
Is this the beginning?
A global healthcare powerhouse?
Of a global healthcare powerhouse.
Yeah.
That's a great question.
Yeah.
And one that we'll explore further in the next part.
Of our discussion. We'll delve into their global expansion plans and how they're strategically navigating different markets to bring the benefits of minimally invasive surgery to more people around the world.
Okay, cool.
Stay tuned.
It really makes you wonder how far they can go with this technology and where they see themselves. Like in the future of surgery. I mean, we talked about their performance, their new systems, their commitment to innovation. But how are they
how does that
translating all of this into a global presence?
That's the key question, right? Global strategy. That's just as impressive as their technology. I mean, they're already operating in many countries, but they get it.
What do you mean?
They understand that just introducing the robots isn't enough. Each region have its own
healthcare systems, cultural nuances, regulatory environments.
So they're not just taking a one-size-fits-all approach.
Definitely not. It's very tailored. They build relationships with local healthcare providers. They train surgeons on the ground. They work closely with regulatory bodies to make sure everything integrates smoothly.
So it's all about building trust. And showing commitment to each market.
Each specific market.
You can't just assume that what works in one place is going to automatically work somewhere else.
Nope. You got to be sensitive to those local nuances.
Okay, but what about affordability?
Yes, affordability.
I mean, we talked about the different systems, refurbished models, but are they making it accessible?
Good question.
In regions with limited resources.
That's a key part of their global strategy. Flexible financing options. Working to make the technology available to a wide range of hospitals, regardless of budget.
So it's about recognizing the diverse needs of healthcare systems.
Around the world.
It sounds like they're really trying to...
It seems like they're really committed to...
Be inclusive.
Being inclusive.
To make a positive impact.
Positive impact,
Globally?
It's not just about selling more robots. It's about fostering a global community of surgeons and healthcare professionals skilled in using their technology. They're investing in training programs, creating educational resources, facilitating peer-to-peer learning.
So they're building a global network of expertise in minimally invasive surgery.
It's like they're creating.
Yes, like a ripple effect.
The ripple effect.
Spreading knowledge and skills alongside their technology. And speaking of ripples, remember that chart they showed? With the number of hospitals?
With multiple
Da Vinci systems?
Oh, yeah, that was interesting.
It seems like once a hospital adopts the technology, they often come back for more.
They do. It's a good sign, right?
Yeah.
Shows that hospitals are embracing the technology and integrating it deeper into their practices. They're seeing the value, for both patients and their healthcare teams.
So it's not just a
one-off purchase.
It's a long-term investment.
Okay, so taking all of this into account.
Right. So let's sum it up.
Impressive growth.
Yeah, they've had impressive growth.
Focus on innovation.
Absolutely. Constantly innovating.
Global reach.
Expanding their reach globally. What does it all mean?
The big question.
Where do you see Intuitive Surgical?
Where do I see them?
In the future of surgery.
Well, I think it's safe to say they're on their way to becoming a true force in global healthcare. They're not just selling robots. They're transforming how surgery is performed worldwide. Less invasive, more precise, more patient-centered.
And they're doing all of this while building a global community.
A global community.
And a legacy.
And leaving a legacy.
Of knowledge. And
leaving a legacy.
Of knowledge.
Pushing the boundaries.
Of what's possible in surgery.
Not content with just being a leader. They want to redefine the field.
Well, this has been a fascinating look at Intuitive Surgical.
It has been a fascinating discussion.
And their ambitious plans.
Ambitious and inspiring.
They're a company to watch, that's for sure.
Absolutely a company to watch.
Not just for the technological advancements. But also for their commitment to
making a difference.
Improving global healthcare.
Yeah, they're really trying to make a positive impact.
Their journey is a testament to what's possible.
It really is.
When you combine innovative technology with a genuine desire.
To
make a positive impact.
To make the world a better place.
On the world.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for tuning into the Quarterly Call.
Thanks for having me.
For more episodes, please remember to rate and follow our show.
Don't forget to subscribe.
Until next time, stay curious and stay informed.